In a world full of conflict and turmoil, there stands an organization with the noble goal of maintaining global peace and security, the United Nations. But this well-intentioned institution often finds itself toothless in the face of powerful nations and entrenched conflicts. Join us to explore United Nations' role in recent conflicts like the Russia-Ukraine war and the Israel-Palestine conflict. Prepare to laugh, learn, and maybe even gain a newfound appreciation for this often misunderstood organization. Imagine the United Nations as a well-intentioned but slightly clueless uncle. He really wants to help everyone get along and resolve their differences peacefully. But he's also a bit of a pushover, easily swayed by the opinions of his louder, more influential nephews, who are the permanent members of the Security Council: United Kingdom, United States of America, Russia, France, China. Uncle Nations has a great big house, the UN headquarters, where all the world's countries can come to chat and try to work things out. He also has a bunch of helpful tools at his disposal, like peacekeeping forces and humanitarian aid missions. But poor Uncle Nations just can't seem to get his nephews to behave. They're always bickering and fighting, and they often ignore Uncle Nations' advice. Sometimes they even veto his suggestions just to spite him. When Russia decided to invade Ukraine, Uncle Nations was horrified. He immediately called an emergency family meeting, but his nephews just kept arguing about who was to blame. Uncle Nations tried to calm them down, but they were too busy pointing fingers at each other. In the end, Uncle Nations was only able to pass a resolution providing humanitarian aid to Ukraine. He couldn't do anything to stop the fighting because his nephew Russia kept vetoing all the resolutions. Uncle Nations has been trying to mediate the Israel-Palestine conflict for decades, but he's had no luck so far. Both sides are so entrenched in their positions that they're not willing to compromise. Uncle Nations has called for a two-state solution, but neither side seems interested in making it happen. He's also been critical of both sides for their actions in the conflict, but they just accuse him of being biased. Poor Uncle Nations. He just wants everyone to get along, but he's constantly caught in the middle of family feuds. Maybe one day he'll figure out how to get his nephews to listen to him, but until then, he'll just have to keep trying. So is the United Nations toothless? Danta? Well, it depends on how you look at it. United Nations certainly has the potential to be a powerful force for peace, but it's often hamstrung by the veto power of permanent five nations. Despite the limitations, United Nations still plays an important role in international affairs. It provides a forum for countries to discuss their differences and to try to resolve them peacefully. It also provides humanitarian aid to people in need and helps to rebuild countries after conflicts. So let's not give up on Uncle Nations just yet. Maybe one day he'll figure out how to get his nephews to behave and finally bring some peace to the world.